Welcome to today's English Studies class. I am Mr. Oladile, your English Studies teacher. Today we'll be looking at grammar and aspects of English. And under grammar, we'll be considering the topic Concord, the rules of grammar. Concord, the rules of grammar. The list of the rules of grammar cannot be exhausted. Therefore, we are going to examine just 12 rules. Our instructional objectives are: by the end of the lesson, students should be able to define Concord, state at least 5 rules of grammar, and make use of the rules of grammar in sentences. Our Bible reference is taken from the book of Mark chapter 14, which says, "The farmer sows the word." This short Bible verse illustrates one of the most important rules of grammar, perhaps the foremost rule of grammar. The word sows indicates that we have a singular subject, farmer, which attracts a singular verb such as sows. Maybe we should now conclude by saying the first rule of grammar says that a singular subject selects a singular verb, while a plural subject selects a plural verb. Let's continue. What is concord? Concord is defined as the agreement between two grammatical units in a sentence. This is a complete definition, as it takes care of all the relationship or agreements that exists in a complete or grammatical sentence. The agreements may be a relationship that occurs between the subject and its verb, or between the antecedent and its anaphor, complement, or pronoun and its anaphor. An antecedent is a noun which is mentioned in a sentence or a paragraph to which a pronoun now refers. For instance, if I say, "My father bought a Lincoln convertible in 1990. He sold it in 1995 to build his first house." My father and a Lincoln convertible are antecedents to which he and it refer. Okay. What is the first rule of Concord? The first rule of Concord says a singular subject takes a singular verb, while a plural subject takes a plural verb. Examples: Tolu is a lover of football. Tolu, singular subject, is singular verb. She likes chocolate. Number 3, the men have many things to say. The men, a plural subject, have a plural verb. James and I have the textbook. James and I have the textbook. Rule 2 says a noun phrase whose head word is singular takes a singular verb, while a noun phrase whose head word is plural takes a plural verb. Example 1 says, the change in male attitude is most obvious in the industry. The head word there is change, and it is singular in nature, then it selects a singular verb, is. Example 2, the changes in male attitudes are most obvious in the industry. Here, changes is the head word, and because it is plural, it selects a plural verb, are. The last example says, the bouquet of flowers is a birthday present. So the head word here is bouquet, and it is singular, and as such selects a singular verb, is. Rule 3. Rule 3 says a compound subject joined by an additive conjunction and takes a plural verb. The conjunction and is an additive conjunction. An additive conjunction is a conjunction that adds two or more, or let's say two grammatical units together. Example 1, Daniel and Daniela are siblings. Tope and Benga are going to school. Fruits and vegetables are nutritious. Good. Rule 4 says when two or more singular subjects are joined by and they refer to the same person or thing, a singular verb is required. When two or more singular subjects are joined by and they refer to the same person or thing, a singular verb is required. Example 1 says, the king and founder of this kingdom has arrived for the occasion. The king is also the founder of the kingdom. Example 2 says, John's favorite food is rice and beans. Example 3 says, bread and butter was served for breakfast. Good. Rule 5 says, indefinite pronouns as subjects are treated as singular subjects and as such attract singular verbs. Example 1 says, everybody wants to give Mandela a gift. So words such as everybody, everyone, each, everything, nobody, somebody, someone are indefinite pronouns. And they are treated as singular subjects. So let's check example 2. Each of the students was given a prize. Each is a singular subject. Everything has spoilt. Everything has spoilt. Nobody has come to rejoice with Cain. Nobody has come to rejoice with Cain. Rule 6 says, if a subject with a lot of, majority of, some of, all of phrases is used with a singular noun head, it takes a singular verb. If the noun head is plural, it takes a plural verb. Let's check the examples below. A lot of the apple has spoilt. Look at the picture above. A lot of the apple has spoilt. Let's say you have an apple, but a greater part of it has spoilt. So you just have to choose the singular verb has, because it's just an apple. A lot of the apple has spoilt. Compare the counterpart example. A lot of the apples have spoilt. Look at the picture beneath. We have a lot of apples here, but not all of them are good. So a lot of the apples have spoilt. Another example. A third of the city is unemployed. A third of the city is unemployed, whereas a third of the people are unemployed. A third of the people are unemployed. Another example. All of the pie is missing. Let's say you have a pie and somebody comes around and steals it. So all of the pie is missing. And imagine you have 12 pies and somebody now comes and takes all the pies. Then you can say all of the pies are missing. All of the pies are missing. So all of the pie is missing, meaning that you have a pie. All of the pies are missing, meaning you have many pies and all of them are missing. Some of the pies is burnt. Some of the pie is burnt. Maybe the only pie you have has been burnt to half. And the counterpart example says some of the pies are burnt. Someone who has 12 pies and maybe 8 to 9 of them have burnt. So some of the pies are burnt. Rule 7 says, when a subject with one of phrase is used, a singular verb is used. However, if it has an embedded clause, that is a clause that is found within a clause or a sentence, and the verb in the embedded clause is going to be plural. Examples include, one of the doctors wears a white apron. Look at the 5 doctors we have here. It's only one. And this is a sentence that does not have an embedded clause. One of the doctors wears a white apron. Example 2 says, Ekene is one of the boys who were arrested during the riots. This is a sentence with an embedded clause. And why Ekene selects a singular verb is the embedded clause who selects a plural verb, because the boys who is a plural subject. Mr. Ajayi is one of the management staff members who love encouraging workers. This is another example with an embedded clause. And why Mr. Ajayi, a singular subject, selects is a singular verb. The management staff members who, as the subject of the embedded clause, is plural, so selects the plural verb love. Jane is one of the students who contribute in class. Good. Rule 8 says subject with percentage and fractions. If the noun or pronoun head is singular, the verb that follows is singular, and vice versa. Let's check the examples. Singular subjects with percentage and fractions, and plural subjects with percentage and fraction. E.g., 3/4 of the house was damaged by the fire. 3/4 of the house was damaged by the fire. So the noun head there is the house. Then it selects a singular verb was. Let's look at the counterpart example. 3/4 of the houses were damaged by the fire. Look at the 2 pictures on the right side. The first one is a house, and 3/4 of that house was damaged. The second picture here, we have numerous buildings or houses, and 3/4 of the houses were damaged by the fire. So singular versus plural. 62% of the book has been read. Let's assume you are reading a book of, let's say, has 150 pages, or let's say 100 pages. Then you have read 62 pages. So you've read 62% of the book. And again, you may have maybe 10 books with you, and you have read 60. You've read 60% of it, meaning that you have read up to 6 out of the 10 textbooks. So you've read like 60% of the books have been read. The last example here says 2/3 of the pole was demolished. 2/3 of the pole was demolished. A complete pole has been destroyed to up to 2/3. And against when you have 2/3 of the poles, or 2/3 of them were demolished. Rule 9 says when a number of is used with the subject of a sentence, it takes a plural verb. If the number of is used, the subject takes a singular verb. So a number of takes a plural verb. The number of takes a singular verb. Example 1. A number of farmers have registered. A number of have registered. The number of farmers is not encouraging. The number is not encouraging. Good. A number of candidates have registered for the examination. Compared to the number of candidates who registered for the examination is 40,000. The number of candidates who registered for the examination is 40,000. Finally, we have a number of people have arrived to the party. As against the number of people is below my mother's expectation. Look at the pictures on the right side. A number of people join their hands, and we have 3 is not enough. 3 is not enough. A number of people have joined their hands. 3 is not enough. Rule 10 says subjects referring to time, distance, money, or measurement take the plural verb. Subjects referring to time, distance, money, or measurement take the plural verb. Examples are $40 million have been spent on the first phase of the project. 20 minutes was spent on the registration of participants, while 2 hours was used for the meeting. Only 40 kilometers of the journey is left. 4 weeks is enough for the police to conclude their investigation. All the subjects here are about either distance, money, or time, or measurement, and they are all taken as singular subjects. Rule 11 says subjects that are gerunds and infinitives take singular verbs. Gerunds are nouns that are formed from verbs. They are formed from verbs by the time we add ing suffix to them. Rig becomes rigging. Sleep becomes sleeping. Read becomes reading. All of these are gerunds. Infinitives are the base form of the verb to which the preposition to is added. So when you have or go, for you to form an infinitival subject, you just have to add the preposition to. So you can say to go is not a problem. To err is human. So our example here says rigging becomes part of the process. Rigging becomes. Rigging is singular and is a gerund, whereas becomes is the singular verb. To err is human. To forgive is divine. To err is human. To forgive is divine. Good. Finally, we have Rule 12 that says subjects with the phrase a pair of takes singular verbs. Subject with the phrase a pair of take singular verbs. When a pair of is pluralized, its verb is also pluralized. That is, you can have a pair of and you have 2 pairs of. A pair of, some pairs of. Examples are a pair of scissors is on the table. A pair of scissors is on the table. And a pair of trousers is on the bed. A pair of trousers is on the bed. And you can have 2 pairs of trousers are on the bed. 2 pairs of trousers are on the bed. And 2 pairs of scissors are on the table. 2 pairs of scissors are on the table. Look at them here. Good. In conclusion, Concord is an agreement between the number person of a subject and the verb such subject takes. The present form of a main verb usually indicates what a singular verb is and what a plural verb is too. Check the examples below. Surprise, surprise. Goes is a singular verb, whereas when an s is added to a noun, it makes it plural. Or reverse is the case with verbs. When a verb takes or attracts an s, it becomes singular. And when there is no any s, this verb becomes a plural verb. So we have goes as a singular verb, go as plural verb, and went the past form. Does, do, and did. Speaks, speak, and spoke. So I said initially that the past form of any verb may not be able to tell us the grammatical rule that is applied to the sentence. So Concord has to do with the agreement that exists between two grammatical units. Thank you. This is our evaluation questions. We are to choose the correct verb form from the options in the bracket to fill in the gap in each sentence. And these are the questions. Meticulously take your time to attempt them and follow this instruction. Watch this, like it, and subscribe to it. Then head to the portal for your notes. Submit the answers to the evaluation questions to me through my email, michaeloladile84@gmail.com. michaeloladile84@gmail.com. All in the lowercase. Thank you for your time. Bye for now.